on the go, whenever and wherever you are. Catch up on highlights, stay up to date with the latest sports news and more. Set reminders and plan your viewing with the TV Guide so that you never miss out on your favorite sports programs. It's easy to use and it's absolutely free. So, what are you waiting for? Download it now on Google Play or the App Store.
Want to know how to enjoy fantastic world-class football anytime and anywhere? It's so easy. Just download and install the Kwese iFlix app and register with us. Select the VIP subscription option that suits your pocket and never miss another game. Kwese iFlix. It's the freshest lineup of sport and entertainment on your mobile, anytime, anywhere.
Kwese iFlix is here, bringing you the freshest lineup of live streaming and on-demand sports and entertainment. Simply download and register to get instant access to a huge selection of free sports, movies, reality shows, and more. Join the VIP circle and get a 1-day, 3-day, 7-day, or 30-day VIP pass to enjoy premium entertainment. Kwese iFlix. Download the app now.
Welcome, sir. Welcome. Bigger round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Bigger round of applause. Yes. The most followed African on social media, yet he has not leaked any nudes. Please give him a bigger round of applause. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
First of all, I'm terribly sorry I was invited to lunch by the president. Who can say no? Great guy. Okay. Appreciate you guys. How are you, my brother? Good to see you. Nice to see you. Thank you. Where is the guy who calls himself Lucky Horse? What? Come here. What's your name? This guy has been on my social media page for years. And does he have a name? Yes. What's your name?
Chibuka Ibrahim.
The Lucky Horse stuff, you need to get rid of it. We need to know each other now. Eh? 5 years. 5 years is long enough, don't you? And who's this guy? Okay, come. What do you do?
I run a logistics company called Apple Logistics Limited. We are making sure that I build the best logistics company for Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what gets me about the guys on this Facebook, sit down, is always how ambitious you all are. I'm going to ask him a question, he says, I'm building this for Africa. I used to say I'm building this to get to Chitungwiza, which is a suburb next door, Great, welcome. Please take a seat. Great. Well, I've wasted so much of your time, I feel guilty. One of the most important things as an entrepreneur is to manage your time. That's where the trick actually is. It's in the management of your time. Okay? When you own and take control of your time, everything becomes possible. Having said that, if I fall asleep, wake me up.
I don't think that's going to be
I
a
left
problem.
Joburg this morning at 3 a.m. to get here.
And we're glad you're here, aren't we? It's been a while trying to get Chairman Strive into Kampala to do something like this, and so it's an absolute delight to have you.
You guys have nice offices.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
No, thank you.
I've never been here.
No, he hasn't actually. So allow me to do some very quick introductions. He's already apologized for being late, but when you're meeting the president, everything else has to wait, right? Thanks a lot for coming and for staying with us and for being patient. And we're going to try and make sure you have as much time to interact with Chairman, as we call him fondly, over at Kwese. I want to say thank you all for joining us. My name is Ben Mwine. I'm the General Manager for Kwese Free Sports here in Uganda. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you for being with us. This event is actually being streamed live on KFS right now. And of course on Facebook, we'll be going to Chairman's page as well for those of us following us online. And if you're catching it either now or later on, you can share your comments. And of course, we all know about the afterthoughts. Hopefully there'll be 50 of those after, after this. I want to say a big thank you for everyone else who has joined us, the Kwese team. Mr. Richard Biarugaba, who is the MD of the National Social Security Fund. He manages a fund that runs about $2.5 billion at the moment and climbing upwards, almost 3 upwards. Dr. Holly, who is a local shareholder for Kwese. Dennis Kahindi, who is the CEO for Liquid Telecom in Uganda. He's just joined the family recently. Habat, who is our country manager as well. We've got some people from the Ministry of Finance, Richard Mobiru and the team, and everyone else in your respective capacities. Thank you so much. If I don't get to some of you, I know some people run away from the office, so you don't want to be seen. I think I saw like 2 or 3 MPs who are hiding at the back, and that's okay. We understand that you want to be here.
We need MPs.
Yeah, we do. That's actually a big thing, isn't it?
We need MPs.
Because of the amount of time that we have that's limited, so you have to run away not too far from now. You're running around. You're in Kenya in a short while. You're in China. You're in Japan in the next couple of days.
I have a dinner with President Macron.
We have a dinner with President Macron this evening. Yeah. So we've got things called border borders. They usually help you cut through the traffic, so maybe those might get you to the airport a bit sooner than anything else. We'll see if we can arrange for a few.
Any entrepreneur can figure that out.
I know, right?
It's got my investment.
Yeah, that's money for you. So what we're going to do, the rules of engagement is this. We're going to do maybe just a 10-minute quick chat with Chairman Strive, and then we'll give you a chance to ask any questions that you might have. Now, the things are very clear in terms of how this happens. Because of the amount of time that we have, you'll only have 30 seconds to ask your question. So you can't come and tell us your life story and your hardships. You can do that on the Facebook page, right? So for today, if it's an important question you've got to ask, 30 seconds to tell us your name, you ask your question, and we'll pick it up from there. And it has to be one question. So if I come and pull the mic from your hands, you can't complain. I hope we agree on that. Okay, thank you very much. Right, so we'll get started. The first question I'm going to ask you is something that you just touched on, about how a good entrepreneur has got to be able to manage his time. You've got one of the most impossible schedules in anybody's life. Someone was asking yesterday, does Chairman Strive sleep at all, if ever? Can we start from there? You're saying a good entrepreneur has to be able to manage his time. How do you do that with the sort of mad schedule that you've got to deal with on a daily basis? How do you manage that?
Great, thank you. You know, it looks like my schedule is busy, but there are still people running organizations 100 times bigger. You must always ask yourself that question, okay? Which is what I used to ask myself, okay? Because of late I've been talking about it's time for you to scale up, okay? And stories help us remember things. I remember once visiting an African businessman in Harare. It was very small little office at the back of the supermarket. And there are people counting the money in one corner. A lot of money, piles of cash. And it's 1 a.m. And he says to me, I sleep at the back, and by 4, I'm up. So I thought to myself, what a schedule. Then I said to him, so how does Mr. Sainsbury's do it? Because he's got supermarkets, one supermarket, 100 times the size of this one, just one. And he opens 100 new supermarkets every month. And he has never visited them. And last I heard, he likes to take long holidays. Does that make him super intelligent? Okay? So, process is central to our ability to create capacity. And it's the biggest challenge we face in Africa. Because you're all great entrepreneurs. But for you to rise to the level where you are running an MTN, an Econet, a Unilever, that's a global company. I sit on the board of Unilever. They have almost 170,000 employees. 180 odd countries. How do you run an organization like that? These are the questions that you as entrepreneurs now should be seized with. Okay? Not having some superficial understanding, but you want to be, why are they that big? How does the guy who runs that organization do it? Okay? Certainly my phone is not ringing every 5 minutes. I'm not erratic about it. Because I realized that I had to get on. You've got a business here. I haven't been here before. We bought this a couple of years back, right?
3 years.
3 years. I haven't been here. I trust this guy.
Thank you very much.
And his colleagues. Working inside a process that gives them time, that gives us time. So that's where our conversation about time should take us. Okay? Time is... And then at the end of the day, I need to be focused only on those things which require me. And strangely enough, there are very few. So I got time.
One of the big things that's a problem in Africa is what you've just talked about. Being able to let go of the problem. The whole man with the key syndrome, where if I'm not in charge of everything, nothing's going to get done. It usually leads to the moment, God forbid, chairman gets hit by a bus, entire Econet group goes down.
I win the lottery.
Well, or
it's better to talk about the lottery.
Right.
Hit by a bus.
I just say, it seems to be a genuine problem that letting go of control and letting the process become bigger than you. Do you think that hinders in the context that we're talking about?
It's very discussions. Some of you have been on the platform a long time. I want us to be progressing. So tomorrow I have a Nairobi. Okay? If you listen to that town hall, it must add to this town hall.
Right.
So today let's talk about scale. This is bigger. So if you haven't started, today isn't your day, okay? Okay, senior class stuff. So I've been talking of late about the co-founder. Okay? You are starting out as an entrepreneur. You have a great idea. So agree it's going to work. It's going to be a great business. But now you have to build it. Okay? When you've been in business for a while, like myself, it's a lot easier. Because you can go and compete for the best people. I just met Sheila. Where's Sheila? Get up, Sheila. This is an amazing executive in our group. She fights for licenses and she gets regulators and so, and then every now and again her reports gets escalated and lands on my desk. And I say, go Sheila, go. Go Sheila, go. Thank you, Sheila. You see, it's about people. Okay? Finding good people. And good people function at their best when they're trusted. You know, does it mean things won't go wrong? Oh, they will. And they sometimes go really badly. And what I found over time is, yes, we have to have good systems. But you know, the best systems can't stop a criminal. So you better relax. Just because you want to stop the guy, you won't be able to stop. Okay? So what we try to do is to build around the systems. Okay? So you have your systems of reports and structures within which you are reporting. And so we know, we can pick up that something is not quite right here. This needs to be looked at, and that's why you've got to be investing in IT systems, information systems that are ensuring the flow of information. But when you are starting out in business, what you got to do, how are you going to get a Sheila to work for you? Okay, you will have to use other currency. Okay, which may be making them a partner in the business, making them a shareholder in the business. Okay, so that's how we try to recruit the higher talent. But the higher talent must come in to complement what you cannot do. So I gave the example the other day, but when I started Econet, I had been running the business. I'd been in business for 6 years. If you talk to anybody in Harare, I was a hotshot. I was doing pretty well. I'd been Industrialist of the Year, youngest ever, Businessman of the Year, youngest ever. I had 700 employees. I thought I knew how to raise money. Then I went to the bank. I said, I want to start a telephone company. I said, okay, let's see the business plan. I said, $10 million. This is 1993. The most I'd ever raised was 300,000. So I listened to my chief finance officer at the time, bless him. He had no clue either. So I went to find somebody I knew could do it. And I said, okay, come and work for me. I'll make you negotiate it with him for weeks. You can have 10% of the company if you can raise this for me. He raised the money, got his 10%. What more can I say? He did something I couldn't do. You have to look for people constantly around you to help you do what you cannot do. Your network must be a network of people who help you to do what you cannot do. The people in your company must be people to help you do what you cannot do. Have we got that? My network help me do what I cannot do. My people help me do what I cannot do. If I can do what you can do, I don't need you.
It's logical.
About television, by the way. I wish I did.
And that makes so much sense. I mean, it pretty much adds up. Allow me to move on quickly to something else that you're passionate about, because incidentally, it fits perfectly into the current setting you're in Uganda. You're a numbers guy. You follow numbers quite a bit. So you probably might know about how young we are as a continent. But Uganda in particular, where you're sitting right now, takes it to a whole new level. More than 75% of our population is below the age of 30. About 55, almost 60% is below the age of 15. And you've been making quite a bit of noise over the last few weeks and months about the agripreneur. Uganda is 80% subsistence farming. So you've got two issues here. You've got a very young population, most of whom are trying to run away from the rural to come to the urban setting, and yet you're saying, look, the future for Africa is in agriculture. It's in being able to take food, become the food basket of the world. How do you encourage that young entrepreneur, that agripreneur, sitting here, watching us on TV, following you on Facebook, that they need to change their mindset? How do they go about changing their mindset from running away from the village to come and buy a border, the small bikes that we have, and actually think about becoming an agripreneur, because that's where the future is, isn't it?
Yeah. So, how many here? Do you switch off? How many here follow soccer, know the rules of soccer? Most of you, right? So if I came in here and I said, you know, oh, I was watching football last night just before I went to bed, and Manchester City, don't like Manchester City.
Me too.
I'm only kidding. But so I said, okay, Manchester City were winning 9-1. You would say, was that soccer? The number. Or if I came in and I said, no, the score was 18-1. You'd say, no, that wasn't soccer. Okay? In other words, you have such an understanding of the game that you know the numbers. Yes, you can. It can happen. You know, I remember when old Zaire was beaten 9-1 or something by Yugoslavia, but some of you weren't born. We ran away. But you know numbers. Business must be numbers. The entrepreneur must always function in numbers. Make numbers your best friend. Okay? And know when you see a number that this number doesn't make sense. 9 times out of 10, I read stuff in our newspapers where they're not numerate numbers. They're not grasping the significance of numbers that you know. And no one shouts and screams to say, how can you say that? So let's go back to numbers. Africa's mean age, I'm going to post something on this in a couple of weeks. The mean age, a better statistic. Mean is half 19 years old. Half the population of this continent are under 19. Okay? Amazing, isn't it? So it's a lot of young people. But what that statistic